best history. Contact your Honda dealer today or shop online.
When Caroline... There's never a fee until we win. That's the strong arm.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Without them, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today.
Well, a community is coming together to support one police officer and honor the life of another. We'll have that story coming up in just a few minutes.
But first, the fallout continues this evening after Cross Creek High School football players are involved in a fight on the field. This happened on Friday while the team was in Savannah for a game.
Now, Cross Creek High School has been required to forfeit this week's game against Hart County High School, and all practice for both JV and varsity has been suspended now. Our Nick Dillon joins us live in the newsroom, and Nick, you spoke with one parent who was there during that fight. What was going through her mind?
Yeah, well, it was obviously scary for those in the stands, and parents and fans I talked to said that there were around 30 Cross Creek fans in the stands, and when this all went down, they feared for the worst. As you can see in the video, both teams sprint and meet in the middle. Cross Creek parents claim that the Razorbacks were only trying to defend themselves, and Savannah threw the first punch. Now the aftermath has Cross Creek having to forfeit their game, and some players were suspended for an additional week. And football activities for JV and varsity are suspended for the rest of the week as well. A punishment parents are saying goes beyond who was just involved.
So do you punish everyone because now the band isn't playing, so it's hurting their recruitment process. The cheerleaders aren't cheering, so you're hurting their recruitment process. And so it's a collective. Is the board looking out for the entire student body when they are making some of the decisions that they're making? Because it's not just the football players that are suffering, it's the collective student body.
And parents do understand that Cross Creek leaving the bench deserves a punishment. Coming up all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we'll hear more from parents who feel like this punishment is halting a historic season years in the making.
It just feels like we're off to a crazy start for this school year, and there's already been several fights this year that we've reported on, and it's just unfortunate to see these impacts that, you know, when this happens at football games, that it's flowing over into some other activities there.
Yeah, it impacts a lot of people, not just the players involved. Thanks for that, Nick. To Riley now in our weather center. Oh, look at that. We're so proud of our new camera.
That looks like a good time to be at the park right there.
It really does.
Beautiful
I mean,
afternoon.
this weather is perfect.
It is, guys. A beautiful weather to be. Full forecast for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Riley. 2 North Augusta officers honored today with a blood drive. One of them, Dustin Beasley. He died of COVID in 2021. The other, Sergeant Andy Cook, was at the event today. He's been fighting cancer. Cook says the support from today's drive is great to see.
Like I said, it's awesome to see people come out and support, especially for support for a law enforcement agency nowadays. Is very heartwarming to see that.
Organizers holding this event today to not only the officers, but also help shepherd as our country deals with an ongoing blood shortage.
Developing this evening, a student is facing charges after the sheriff's office says he punched a teacher in the face multiple times. Arrest warrants say this happened yesterday afternoon. The teacher taught ASD life skills. Columbia County Schools responding to the incident, saying several staff members were trying to keep the student from harm, but in the process, they say that the student made inappropriate contact with the teacher. We're working to learn what led up to this incident. The student is being charged with battery on a school teacher and was booked into the Columbia County Detention Center. Barnwell's chief of police says that he will be resigning next week on the 27th. Lamaz Robinson's original date was set for the end of November, but he says the city council cut it short. Chief Robinson's accused Barnwell of gender and race discrimination. The EEOC will review those claims. Robinson has since been hired as a deputy town administrator in Allendale County. Now, in Fulton County, commissioners still working to figure out where to send hundreds of inmates. The proposal is a solution to overcrowding in the jail as well as understaffing. The Fulton County Jail is currently under investigation by the Department of Justice over allegations of unsafe living conditions, among other concerns. The idea is to move around 1,000 inmates to other jails, including one in Mississippi and another in southern Georgia. But Fulton County Commission Chairman says that he would like to see more transfers here locally, especially considering the distance of the other two options.
More than half of the inmates in our Fulton County Jail are residents of the city of Atlanta. We have a partnership with the city, so it's the right thing to do. They are in agreement that we have an emergency, so this is a way for them to assist us and bringing some relief, the pressure that we're facing at the Fulton County Wright Street Jail now.
This year alone, 10 inmates have died inside the jail. Many of those deaths also still under investigation. 12 years after repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the Pentagon is now taking steps that will change the lives of tens of thousands of military men and women kicked out of the military because of their sexuality.
Our State House reporter Abby Kasora shows us how service members are feeling.
Georgia has one of the largest military communities in the country. This change will impact veterans with a less than honorable discharge, denied key benefits like health care, college tuition, and loans.
We needed to right a generational wrong.
Retired Army Ranger Robin Biro says as the first Ranger to come out as gay in his Ranger regiment, this day is monumental.
The greatest change, honestly, is what happened today.
Deputy Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks announced at the Pentagon that the Department of Defense will be proactively reviewing the military records of veterans who were discharged because of their sexual orientation.
We'll start with those discharged during the period of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
The Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy kept openly LGBTQ people from military service and kept veterans from talking about it. Veteran Danny Ingram leads the Georgia chapter of the American Veterans for Equal Rights. He now lives with his husband in Texas. He was honorably discharged for choosing to speak about the policy.
I tell people the Army took away my uniform, but they will never take away my honor.
More than 35,000 service members were discharged or separated because of real or perceived homosexuality, and it's noted in their files, which can be seen by employers. Less than 1,400 veterans have been granted a correction or an upgrade.
This will absolutely change the course of the lives of tens of thousands of veterans.
There will be a review board to approve of those discharge applications. Ingram says traditionally veterans would have to hire lawyers, costing them time and money in order to go through the discharge application process. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks, Abby. Changes are coming to Fort Gordon, soon to be named Fort Eisenhower. The renaming ceremony isn't until October 27th, but old signs like the one at Gate 1 are coming down, and new ones will be installed ahead of that ceremony. You'll start seeing the new name more and more now. Google Maps, by the way, has already updated the fort's name, as have ambulances on post.
Well, today, cyber professionals sharpening their skills to keep you safe against potential cyber attacks. We'll take a look at how coming up next, Riley.
And we are monitoring the potential for a named tropical system moving off the southeastern coast. We'll take a look at how it can impact us here locally in that full forecast next.
Over here in the Broad Street district for downtown Augusta, panhandling is illegal, but just cross the street and it could be unconstitutional to manage. All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We're hearing from Augusta leaders on how they're trying to handle this issue without arresting their way to a solution.
Time enters Saturday and Sunday down to the upper 50s, and Saturday is the official start of fall with the fall equinox.
All right, well, the calendar actually is feeling like the temperature for once.
Absolutely, and we like that.
Yeah, we sure do. Earlier this year, a cyber attack crippled parts of Augusta city services for months. Today, effects from the attack are still being dealt with. And as the investigation into what actually happened continues, the focus turns to how to prevent these things from happening in the first place.
Our Taylor Martin shows us how the Georgia Cyber Center is training industry professionals during their Cyber Dog training exercises.
A cyber attack is one of those things you never think will happen to you until it does. It's why 10 different agencies from across the state of Georgia are participating in this year's Cyber Dog training to sharpen their skills so when the attack comes, they're prepared.
Cyber attacks are something both industry professionals and people in Augusta like Stacey Kay have in common. For her, it was a cyber attack in Augusta that impacted her small business. couldn't get anyone out here to come and deliver us trash cans. It's what state and educational agencies across the state are trying to prevent with this training.
It provides them the ability to see things that hopefully they'll never see, but unfortunately probably will at some point see in their career. Being able to identify a threat or a threat actor kind of better prepares them for the ability to deal with it in the real world.
While it's the 5th year of this training, it's more relevant now than ever.
There are things close to home that have occurred within cyber attacks.
They're trying to make it as close to a real cyber attack as possible, with cyber experts and agencies from across the state coming to test their skills.
We're not just pretending to execute attacks. We're not just pretending to defend. It is sandbox, right? So it's in a controlled environment, but it is, for all intents and purposes, it's a real-world environment.
Bringing a new sense of security to the digital platforms that we use every day.
This year we have, I think, close to about 500 virtual systems that are deployed to include all the things that you would see in an enterprise. So email services, file storage services.
Reporting in Augusta, Taylor Martin, on your side.
And CyberDog is a 5-day training held by the Georgia Technology Authority in partnership with the Georgia Cyber Center and Georgia Army National Guard.
Getting a new smartphone is almost as exciting as getting a new car, but what do you do with the old one? Trade it in or sell it? I'm Jamie Tiger. We're going to take a look at the best options coming up.
First Alert Radar, powered by Jim Hudson Lexus, Acura, Cadillac.
Touchdown! This has been Toyota.
New smartphones are coming out all the time. If you're thinking about upgrading your device, what should you do with your old one?
Well, carriers offer some trade-in value, but are there better options? Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker looks into the deals to find out.
When a new smartphone is released, the manufacturers and carriers are so eager to sell you one, they're willing to give you something for your old device.
For example, if you upgrade to an iPhone 15, Apple will give you a $430 trade-in value for an iPhone 14, $250 for an iPhone 12, and up to $60 for an iPhone 8. You might do better by trading in your phone to your carrier. T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon are offering deals right now, and depending on your plan, it might give you considerably more than Apple.
But notice the trade-in value does not take into consideration the storage. So that iPhone 12 with 512 gigabytes of storage has the same trade-in value as the same phone with just 128 gigabytes, even though you spent several $100s more for the extra storage. It's kind of a raw deal.
Android phones don't hold their value as well as iPhones, generally speaking, but carriers are more likely to trade a new Android device for an older one. If you want the most cash for your old device, it's best to sell it. On Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, iPhone 12s are selling anywhere from $250 to $500, and on Gazelle, the iPhone 12 Pro is worth $329 in cash.
I found if you're upgrading a phone, the best deal is to trade it in with a carrier. And remember, this is the time of year all of the carriers are making great deals, especially if you're willing to switch to their company. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
The iPhone 15 is available in stores this Friday. That's September 22nd. Shipping delays of certain colors can be expected due to availability. Some models will not ship until mid-October.
All right, take a look at this. The city of Aiken posting these pictures of the winners of the first annual Power Wheels Derby.
Oh,
yeah,
how did I not know about that?
Right? Racers went head-to-head for the chance to win a placement and trophy. It was a treat for parents, too. Seriously, they got to help their kiddos with their mini vehicles. Russell Timmons won the 8 and under. John Gautreaux won the 3 and under. I mean,
yeah, I really want to be a part of that. That'd be cool if they did one for like adults too. Just regular 4-wheelers, probably.
I'm really worried about your safety. You would need bubble wrap. I would need to see you in bubble wrap.
Yeah, knowing me, I like break something too because I broke my foot like 3 times and my hand twice. So I always get injured doing stuff like this. It's bubble wrap's probably a safe
Bubble wrap
move
would
there.
be good for Will.
Yeah, probably. Looks like fun. Good for them. Well, more often than not, high school football teams schedule tough non-region opponents to make sure they're hitting their stride when region play rolls around.
Strom Thurmond is one of those teams, and as News 12 sports director Dan Booth says, well, the Rebels' practice is ahead of Friday night's showdown with North Augusta, and they're ready, right?
And you know who might need some bubble wrap? Anybody that plays against Strom Thurmond, because they're sitting at 3-1 through their first 4 games. And during that stretch, the Rebels have been averaging just under 30 points per game. The combination of having multiple tall wide receivers on the outside and an experienced quarterback and their ability to dominate the line of scrimmage with their physical running attack makes the Rebels a serious threat heading into region play and beyond. The teams left standing at the end of the season are usually the ones that play complementary football at its finest. All that offensive firepower is certainly helping their defense keep opposing offenses on their toes.
It gives us confidence because, when we get that, when we get that third and long, we know we're going after the quarterback.
We have a lot of guys always trying to encourage each other and make everyone better. We're trying to make everyone feel like they're very important to the team, so we're always trying to hype each other up, and that really helps on both sides of the ball.
On Friday, Strom Thurmond will finish their non-region schedule with a fun matchup under the lights against North Augusta. That showdown between the Rebels and the Jackets is one of this week's choices for the Under the Lights Game of the Week. You can cast your vote by scanning the code on your screen now or by logging on to our website.
All right, thanks for that, Dan. Weather looks great Friday evening for those high school football games, and into the weekend, we should hang on to sunshine and cooler than average temps. Now look at that 7-day forecast just after a quick break.
Every day is a fresh.
All right, folks, welcome back. Here's a live look of our Beach Island camera. You can see the cloud cover has really started to increase here across most of the area, and we're going to hang on to this for the rest of tonight. Temperatures have fallen, though. We're right now at 79 degrees at Bushfield and should hold steady in the 70s the next couple of hours. Once we get well past sunset, our temperatures will eventually get down to the 60s. Our in-house model's been pretty consistent, showing maybe a straight morning shower. Other models are going completely dry, so not putting a lot of eggs in that basket, but wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's a raindrop or two. Thursday afternoon, it does dry out. Temperatures staying below average again for us. And you can see the cloud cover doesn't really go anywhere throughout the day on Thursday. Now, Friday is when it's going to start getting a much breezier outside. That system just off the Carolina coastline, that's going to be churning up the seas and producing a good bit of rainfall closer to the coast. But for us here locally, just looking to stay breezy, maybe a stray shower in the eastern CS area, but looks like most of that rain should stay away from us here in the region. Now, tomorrow we are expecting just partly cloudy skies, more sunshine by Friday into Saturday, and you can see for the weekend we actually get some cooler mornings back down to the upper 50s out there early Saturday and Sunday morning. Heading into next week, our temperatures don't really increase too much, and we can actually drop back down to the 70s for highs by next Wednesday.
All right, thanks, Riley. That's all the time we have, but stick with us. We have much more news, weather, and sports coming up after a very short break on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
On air and online, News 12's First Alert Traffic Network is sponsored by Mountaineer Pest Services. Protect your home at StopMyBugs.com.
We are excited to announce that the Medicare Specialist is now the 64 Insurance Group. And while we've expanded our portfolio to include other health insurance products, we are still your go-to for all things Medicare. Don't wait until you're 65 to call. Are-you64.com.
Touchdown! Visit Milton.
Anthony said you really like games and like gaming or whatever, so I got us some scratch offs. Kind of fun, right?
You got the Gamecock ones?
Yeah, I'm a lifelong Carolina fan. Well,
Yep.
Check, please. Yeah, it matters that much.
Ready? It's happening right now at Rooms to Go. Pick from 100 beautiful rooms, each under $1,500. Picture it, your home. Fully furnished in your style, with living rooms under $1,500. Dining rooms under $1,500. Bedrooms under $1,500. 100 stylish options, each under $1,500. And it gets even better. Finance for $30 or less per month, interest-free for 50 months. Furnish your home to perfection. Now at Rooms to Go.